and welcome to the New York Sports Show. I'm your host, Dominic Konoweski. We have SK Modified driver Max Zachem on. Max, hello and welcome to the New York Sports Show.
Hey, thank you for having me on, and I'm looking forward to 2021.
Yeah, it's an honor to have Max on. Now, Max, you just said looking forward to 2021. That racing season is literally just around the corner. How do you feel your team has performed over this offseason in preparing the car?
I'm excited. I'm involved with a lot of different race teams and also have my own race team. I'm looking forward to it. You know, Mark Webb has put out a really good car with a 27 chassis dynamics car. We ran a couple of races at Stafford, Waterford Speedbowl, and also Thompson, and I'm really looking forward to it.
That's very good to hear. Now, what are your goals for the 2021 season?
We're doing more of a pick and choose type schedule. With everything going on with COVID still happening, and thankfully they're allowing the venues to open up a little bit more. But trying to find sponsorship's been a little bit tough, but we're still working for it. And I'm going to run the Tri-Track Series with Larry Westgate, all phases renovations. He's building a brand new LFR car. And then Mark Webb, as I was saying, with the 27 chassis dynamics car, we're going to pick and choose some of the bigger type races and run between the Icebreaker at Thompson, also the 5K at Stafford, and we're going to pick and choose some at the Speedbowl. And never know, we could be out at a racetrack anywhere.
Well, that's very cool to hear, and you very well could be. Now, you've raced at a lot of tracks so far in your career. What's your favorite track to perform at?
I got a couple. I mean, we're so fortunate. From my home, we have 4 racetracks that are premier facilities with Stafford, Thompson, Waterford, and Seacog for the modifieds, which we're really lucky for. But I have a lot of fun when I go to New Hampshire Motor Speedway to go drive with the Wheeling Tour. And also when we went to Bristol, that was really cool. But, I'm fortunate. We've gone to a lot of really good racetracks, and I like them all.
Well, that's very good to hear. Now, like you said, it's kind of like a pick and choose year for you. Are you going to be going for any championships or just going out for a race win?
The Tri-Track we're going to be able to go for the championship for, being only a 6-race schedule. And also with my car, we're going to run the 4 open 80s at Stafford. And I just saw the call before you dig 811 is having a little bit of a point fund now, which is really neat to see. So there's going to be some going for the championship a little bit, but mostly going for race wins and having fun. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that really is. If you aren't having fun, then, what's the point? Fun is just everything, especially when you're doing a sport like racing. You want to be having fun. Now, you drive the SKs. What made you decide to drive an SK other than, for example, a late model?
I was very fortunate. When I grew up running legend cars, and then we went on to run the tour type modifieds. We actually skipped right over the SKs originally with our own family team. And this past year, Mark Webb had a seat open up for the 5K at Stafford, and we were fortunate enough to meet up with him and be able to get fitted in the car. And he basically became another family member of the race team. It's been a lot of fun, and I just love the open wheel modifieds. That's what I grew up around. That's what I like. I tried an ACT Tour late model before in a test session, and it's just not my thing. Fenders aren't my thing. It's not saying that I won't go out and watch the Grand Day race at the Sizzler because Mike Parks puts on a great show or whatnot, but I'm a modified guy.
Yeah, modified racing is the best kind of racing, so, I'm not really surprised by that. Now, what made you get into racing in general? What made you decide to, hey, I want to do this as a career? What were the steps?
Well, I was fortunate. My father was on a lot of different race teams as a crew member, also as a sponsor. He never raced himself, but I'm the 4th generation in my family. Actually, my great-grandfather used to race at Stafford Motor Speedway when it was dirt with a horse and buggy and a chariot. which is also in all the race cars, my family cars. I have that inside it just to give a little family background. And so I've always, had the need for speed. And I started in 2000 at Little T. Thompson, the little 1/10 mile that's on the outside of turn 3 and 4, where a lot of the young kids are going up through. And that's where I got my start. And there's just nothing like it. I love cars. I love, engines. I love working on them. It's just a lot of fun.
That is a pretty cool insight to that racing background. So I thank you for sharing that with us. Now, we are seeing a few modified drivers do that pro stock race at Stafford at the beginning of the racing season. Do you plan on running that race, or are you just going to keep it all with the modifieds?
I'd love to run it if the right opportunity came about to go to a different race team and try it. That would be a lot of fun. But there's just so few rides out there to be able to meet up with a team owner to try and do it. But if anyone has a ride out there, I would definitely be interested. They're very sleek race cars, and I will watch the event for sure. And like I said, Mike Parks puts on a really good show as the promoter of the Granite State Series. So regardless, if I don't end up in a driver's seat in someone's car, I'll be there to watch.
Yeah, well, that's good. Hopefully you will end up in that driver's seat, though. Now, here we are. It's still the off-season. What do you do to really stay focused in racing? Do you use iRacing to help you out with the off-season?
Well, I do use iRacing, but I'm more hands-on in the garage, trying to get the race cars, either stripped down or prepared or ordering parts, whatever the case may be, to try and be better for the following year. This year has been a little bit different for me. We actually have our little girl on the way with my wife, and so we've been trying to be focused on that as well, trying to get our preparations squared away, which is coming up very soon. That I'm really looking forward to. But I've been busy in the garage just trying to build our car for Stafford for the Open 80s, and also going to the other race shops to get the cars done and meet with the crew guys and everything.
That's very cool to hear, and congratulations on that. Now, have you ever had any mentors going up, any driver who really inspired you?
I've had a few growing up. I'm lucky. My parents live 4 miles from Stafford Race Chassis, so I was always around Art and Ken Berry growing up through his beautiful number 21 cars that ran the modified tour for many years. I also grew up with Chris and Charlie Pasternak. My father was a spotter there when Charlie was still racing full-time on the tour as well. So, there's been a lot of people that I've been influenced with growing up, going to different race shops and trying to understand things. But even from the crew chief side, like Phil Moran, who's involved with Doug Colby, who was also at Pasternak's before he went south to the big time and then came back up for the modified racing. So there's a lot of so many people that are involved in the modified world that I've learned from and, cherished having a lot of great memories from and learning from.
That's very, very cool to hear. Now, we've seen a lot of modified drivers get attention through diecast cars being made by pounder promotions. Are you gonna have your car be made into a diecast?
I'd love to. It's just trying to get everything squared away to be able to do that. We're currently in the process right now with marketing partners trying to make something happen for this year, and we're in the design of doing the car and whatnot. So who knows? Maybe when we got everything all done, we'll be able to get a diecast made up.
Yeah, that'd be really cool if you get one made up. I'll definitely be getting one if so. Now, like I said, season not that far away. Are you excited for it, or are you nervous with all that anticipation?
It's a little of everything. Every year you're always nervous, because there's so much time and effort put in, and to be able to do this, no matter what race team you're with, whether it's your own or going with someone else. And it's also anticipation, a lot of excitement, as things are hopefully turning around in the world today with COVID and whatnot. Hoping we can, be able to go to the racetrack and, be able to focus on racing and all that. But I'm really excited. I'm fortunate to have a lot of different team owners and going to go to a lot of different racetracks and different, big-time races this year.
Yeah, that is very cool. Now, you've done so many races. Do you have one that really sticks out in that memory?
Oh, goodness. I got a few that, stick out for sure. 2016, which seems like forever ago, the Thompson 125 with the Modified Tour, we led a lot of laps that day. We had a tire strategy call where we pitted very early compared to the leaders, and he came up close. Lost it there in the closing stages to Bobby Sanos, who charged through the field on fresher tires, and we ended up finishing second that day on the tour. And we've had a lot of other good races and good finishes, and I'm just fortunate to have so many memories. I just can't, name it down to a few. I mean, even just, traveling different racetracks over the years with the crew guys and whatnot, just been very fortunate.
Yeah, definitely. Now, is there anything else you'd like to say to the people watching this video?
Well, first off, I can't, thank you enough for having me on. Also, I can't thank my family enough. My dad has sacrificed everything for me to be able to go racing. And, this year, I'm really looking forward to teaming up with Larry Westgate and all phases renovations for a new team. And, also with Mark Webb with the 27 SK going to all three tracks this year, running some of the bigger shows and, starting a family. I'm really excited for that. And new ventures for me in my life. And, thank you for having me on again, and looking forward to 2021.
Yeah, it's a true honor to have you on. Folks, once again, this is SK Modified driver Max Zachem on. Max, thank you for joining us here on the New York Sports Show.
No, thank you again, and look forward to seeing you at the track again. Hopefully it'll be sooner than later.
Yes, hopefully it will be. Thank you.